So officially, I want to welcome you guys to today's class. So today's class, I'm going to be teaching you on logo forms, right? Logo forms. So in between, or as we go through this lesson, right, I will talk about grids. I know certainly there's already a video for grids that I talked about the 3 kinds of grids. So I'm going to try to embed it here too, right? Try to embed it here. So logo forms. So there are some important things to take note of when you are creating a logo form. So what's a logo form? A logo form is just simply the shape your logo takes, right? So the assignment I gave you guys was about going to sketch a logo, right? Just sketching the logo. I don't know if some persons looked at somewhere, maybe picked a sketch from somewhere, I don't know. But what I want to teach you today, or open up to you today, is how you know the boundaries, right? The boundaries to which a logo form must be. Like, your logo form must not go beyond these boundaries. That's how I want to change that. I'll be showing you the boundaries that logo forms cannot go beyond, right? That's what I'll be teaching you, so that you have the mind of your own. So when you are doing something, this form is not good, you will know that this form is not good, that I'm not getting it yet, right? I'm not getting it yet. While logos should be unique, you're not in the uniqueness, trying to make your logo unique, then you are now drawing something that should not even be a logo or a mark, right? You're not drawing something that shouldn't be. So, and that is why every logo, I hope you guys are still writing. All people are taking physical notes. I'm going to ask for that physical notes. Trust me, I will ask for it, or
Yes,
your
sir.
pad, or
Yes.
whatever you're using to sketch. I will ask for it. Trust me, I will ask for it. But so what we're saying here is that there's a way your logo should not be looking, right? Even if you want to make it unique, there's a way your logo should not be looking. There's a way your logo should not be looking. So considering logo forms, all what we are doing, the grids and everything, we're learning, trying to, even this, what we are trying to do is that we are trying to give our logo form, like, make our logo forms legit, right? We have to make it legit. Have you seen some logos before that you just, this logo is looking so awkward, right? So awkward. And that's the more reason why you should use grid. So what grid does, I want you guys to know the reason for everything. If you notice the way I teach, I don't want to just tell you use grid for no reason. I want to give you the reason why we use grids, right? So grid just helps you to take a particular form that is legit. When I mean legit, that is pleasing to the eyes. That is pleasing to the eyes. And I've seen a lot of people make mistakes. Even some kinds of pros, they make mistakes on this. They make a lot of mistakes on this. So let me teach you something. So when it comes to logo forms, there are 3 things we have to consider, right? So I've said it before. You have to consider balance, right? You have to consider using basic shapes, Then another thing you have to consider is okay, so let's deal with these two first. Let's deal with these two. So balance. So whenever you are drawing your grid, right, like we're going to do now. So for instance, let us create what I call a square grid. A square grid, or no, let me say a grid. This is a basic grid, right? Or you can call it a square grid. So let me just add some sort of strokes. Let me add some sort of strokes to it. I just want you to know the reason why we do everything. And if you know this, you'll be able to, right? So let me add. So I'm going to duplicate it holding my alternate, right? So let's go like this. So I can continue to duplicate. I'm just pressing Ctrl D. So it just repeats the first one, right? So the same thing, I'm going to move this. You can use this rotate tool. You can use it. Just double click on it. You have it here, double click on it. Then you have to set the angle. Set the angle. So I think this is about, it should be 90. Let me see, 90 degrees. Okay, so that's 90 degrees. So when you click on the 90 degrees, so what you do is that you click on copy. Well, let me do it again so that you can see it. So when you click on, you double click on this, so it's going to say you set it to the angle. So you click on 90. So when you say copy, if you don't say copy, if you just say okay, it's going to just turn. I'm going to rotate this 90 degrees, and it's not going to have a copy. Let me show you. So you see, it's just 90 degrees, no copy. But if I say copy, it's going to duplicate it, right? Then give that duplicate, we'll say that duplicate to 90 degree angle, to 90 degree angle, right? So that's it. Oh, I didn't say copy. Oh, okay, let me see. Okay. Right, so this is a basic grid. It's a basic grid, right? It's a basic grid. So I'm just going to group it. Just press Ctrl G. They're going to allow it to get to the end. It's not necessary. It's not necessary, not at all, not at all, not at all. So let's talk about balance. What I want to show you now is going to help you. It will solve a lot of problems for you. Like you have the eyes to know a good logo, or if your logo is not in good shape, like you are going to know, you will be aware. You just know, this is my logo. It's not in good shape. You'll be aware. So I want you guys to pay maximum attention. When we talk about balance, you should have known this in graphics design. So balance is or symmetry or whatever you want to call it, right? Balance is simply equally distributing visual elements, right, in your design. I've seen pros make this kind of mistake, right? Even some big brands you might know, some persons just make this mistake, right? They make this mistake. Some of their logos, right, are not balanced. They are not balanced, and people don't know the importance of this, right? People don't know the importance. I think if you listen to that video I sent about Chris Do, when he was talking about the characteristics of a logo, right? He talked about it. Like a logo has to be, forget that logo is not about aesthetics, that it has to do more functionality, right? But aesthetics, right, has to be good, because people are going to be either wearing that logo on themselves, having it somewhere. It's going to be in your office. Something is going to be somewhat at physical positions, right? So it means your logo has to be smart and aesthetically pleasing. So it's very important. So even if that's not the main thing, it's very important. So put that in mind. I always check out for that in my logos. So number one, what do you do? What do you do? And let me tell you something so that you don't forget this, right? Let me tell you something so you don't forget this. So that's going to sync, right? So I was doing a study, right? I was doing a study on what I was doing a study if there was like any proxy something can have that will make it beautiful, that will just make it beautiful or aesthetically pleasing. I was doing a study, a serious study. That was like 5 years ago. I was doing a research. Checking out, is there anything that when you say something is beautiful, is there any characteristics that thing possesses? Is there any characteristics at all? So, and I wanted to find out if I take that same characteristics and put it on some other thing, it's going to still be beautiful because it's having that characteristic. All I'm trying to say is that, have you heard people saying that, some people say that beauty is universal, right? While some people are saying that, some people might tell you that beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Have you heard that before? That beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. But some people will tell you that it's still argued to today. When I say beauty is universal, it means if something is beautiful, everybody in the world is going to know that this thing is beautiful or this thing is aesthetically pleasing. Everybody in the world will attest that this is beautiful. But if beauty is not universal, then people are going to say that some will agree that this is beautiful, some will not agree. No. Some say, okay, it's beautiful because it's your personal preference. But to an extent, I was making my research, to an extent, people can agree that something is beautiful, like universally, like a major percentage can agree to say that, okay, if they are not being biased, that something, this is good to go, this is aesthetically pleasing, this is beautiful, right? And that is because that thing possesses a particular characteristic. So what that means is that if we can single out one characteristic of a beautiful object or shape or form, right? It means we can replicate it. It means for you as a designer, any design you want to do will always be fine because you know that property, you know what you are going for, right? You always know that, okay, and you will always know how to test for things if it's aesthetically pleasing enough. I don't know if you want to hear it. Or are you not following what I'm saying? Is it confusing?
I'm with you, boss. I want to hear.
Okay. So
everything is clear.
Okay. So I want to tell you that thing, or those two characteristics that makes up anything that you see that is beautiful, anything at all, whether it's human being, whether is a designer, is a graphic, anything at all, right? Anything at all. So it's just two things. Number one, it's order, right? The way I'm teaching you this, you might not see it on. I've said this from the beginning, though, right? I said this from the beginning. So you might not see it like this or presented in this way, right? But we had to research and we had to make it usable, like in the design world, right? We had to research and make it usable. So this is what I'll say. Beauty consists of anything that is beautiful has these two things: complexity. So we have order and we have complexity. So order here, you can refer to You can refer to order as balance, or you can refer to order as symmetry. Symmetry, right? So it means every beautiful thing has these two, right? They have these two, like different percentage. Let me say I have 50% here, right? Maybe out of 100%, let me say I have 50%, I have 50% here, right? I have 50%, I have 50%. So if you are saying that anything at all, if it's a graphic, let me use a graphic for instance. So if you are saying a graphic is beautiful, what you mean is that the graphic has order, right? What I mean by order means the elements, the visual elements in that design are symmetric. That's what you mean. So when you say anything is beautiful, you mean graphic work is beautiful. You mean that the order there, or the design, the visual elements, everything is well aligned, everything is symmetric, right? There is balance. That's what you mean. Then you also mean that there is also complexity. So when I mean complexity, I mean, right, there are sufficient visual elements in that graphic. That's what you mean. That's what you mean. So the rate at which these two factors are correctly implemented, that's the rate at which you can say something is beautiful. Do you guys understand? Do you guys understand? Do you guys understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you guys following? So if something...
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
No, I can't say I completely understand. I get the part of order, but
worry.
complexity,
You
I will appreciate
understand?
if you come again.
Don't worry, you understand now. You understand now. So we have complexity here. We have complexity. So complexity for a logo might be, let me find any logo and put here. Let me find any logo and put here. You can get this, then there's no way your logo is not going to be fine. You will know how to judge it, that my logo is okay now, it's not okay. You will know how to judge it, apart from using the characteristics. So let me see. I'm trying to look for a way to break things down. Okay, for instance, let me just take a simple logo. Okay, let me show you something. Just a minute. Right, just a minute. So for instance, we have these two logos here. We have these two logos. Between the Pepsi logo and the KFC logo, look at their two. Which one is more beautiful? Someone should answer me.
Pepsi logo. I'll still pick the Pepsi because it's still simple.
No, don't be. I think it was not you. between
So I'll go with KFC.
You go with KFC.
KFC.
So
I'll go
let's do one by one. If I call you, you can speak so that it will not be. So, who was the first person that spoke?
Was me.
Okay, you. Okay, who is that? Who is you? Is it Kiki? Sorry, I can't see.
Yes,
Okay, that was Kiki. Okay, why I say who is you? So, between these two, you go with the KFC. Not which one is standard or what. Which one is more beautiful? I know the major percentage of persons will go with KFC, right? Most persons will go with KFC if we even calculate the percentage of persons, right? And looking at what I explained here, what I'm explaining about beauty, right? If you understand this, your logo, in this logo, there is order quite well. There is order. Okay, how do I do this now? Okay, let me see. Let me show you. So let's say we have this here, we have this here. So in this logo, let's say in this logo, let me say order is like 70%, right? Let's say 70%. Then let's say complexity is like 30%, right? Why I'm saying 30%, there are no more shapes here, there are no more much lines here. We can just see the logo, just minimal, right? But over here, the order, let's say the order is 70%, can still be 70%, but you can see that the complexity can be like 80 to 90%. So do you see why you are judging that one is fine now? Are you guys getting what I'm saying? Are you guys confused? Hope you are not confused. Are you confused? Somebody's confused.
I'm a bit confused
as well.
You are confused.
So is it that it's not always 50-50?
So now listen to
me. Okay.
And just listen to me now. Listen to me. So order is how aligned your logo is, how balanced it is, right? How balanced your graphical elements are, how symmetric your elements. And this is already a circle. So a circle is mostly symmetric, right? A circle is symmetric. You can find the center of a circle and say, okay, this part is equally distributed already. So, but for this place you have here, you have this gap here. So it's making it a little bit more balanced, right? But it's still balanced because it's a circle. So that's why we're giving it 70%. But for the complexity, you have just two shapes here. You have just two colors here. It's not that complex, right? So we just say, okay, let's give it 30%. But for this, you agree with me that this is balanced. It's balanced because it's a circle, first of all. Then you can see that though it's a sketch, it's balanced. If not, you won't even see the person's nose. You can see two eyes there. Everything is balanced. It's well sketched, right? You don't see that the sheen is on one side or the air is just scattered or things like that. You are not seeing that, right? It's wearing a bow tie. The bow tie is at the middle. You are seeing everything is well aligned, right? That's why the sketch is even, you can even see the person's face, that you can recognize that this is a man, right? Because it's well sketched, right? So that one we can give it order. We'll still give it 70%, right? Then complexity. You can see that you have a lot of lines on this KFC. You have lines, you have shadows. Are you getting me? You have shadows. So
yes,
that's why people like 3D logos. Are you getting? When a logo has been made 3D, you can see that you can see shadows, you can see the different dimensions, because it's becoming more complex. So people tend to see that it's more beautiful because it's beginning to have complexity. You are seeing shadows, different visual elements. You are seeing it's a 3D logo. You can see the different dimensions. Are you getting me? So
yes,
people will tell you that 3D You say, this one is more beautiful than this, right? So are you understanding me, or is there anybody that don't still understand? So
I understand now, sir.
You understand now? So
Okay.
the same thing. Now take it to logos now. Take it to logos. So it means when you are making your logo, and let me tell you, it's better to sacrifice complexity for order than to sacrifice order for complexity. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
Are you getting me? Have you seen a design that is very complex but it's not beautiful? Have you seen it before? That you see they pack different things inside design, they are putting lights and everything, just putting different things in that design, but yet the design is not beautiful. Have you seen that kind of design before? Yes. Right? Are you guys responding? You've seen it, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. But have you seen a design that is you just have few elements, but the design is very much in order and it's still fine. It's very simple and it's still fine. Have you seen a design like that before?
Yes, sir.
It just simply means that you can sacrifice when it comes to something being aesthetically pleasing. You can sacrifice complexity, right? You can sacrifice it so you can get order, right? Than for you to sacrifice order for complexity. Are you getting me? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. So bringing it to logo now. Bringing it to logo. That is why your logo. So this is what your eye does. Let me tell you something. The eye of every human being, right? The eye of every human being. Why we can easily judge design, and this most people can look at a design and say this design is not, because our eyes have been keyed to natural things. I mean, that nature is very, very much in order. If you look at leaves, you look at flowers, how come the flowers are equally distributed? It looks very balanced. You must have noticed that, right? So nature is very, very much. So our eyes are like keyed to nature, right? Things are very balanced. You see, why birds? Have you seen a bird that has one feather? Have you seen it before? You've not seen it, right? You've not seen it. If you look at flowers, sunflowers, it's like the sides are equally distributed, so it's balanced. It's looking all beautiful. That's why you can say this flower is beautiful. But if there's no order, there's no way you say it. So our eyes are been keyed to natural things. So, and what is basic about natural things is that, right? Natural things is that it's in order. It's in order. So our eyes already know the things that are in order and the things that are not in order, right? Why can you see a lion? No matter how terrifying a lion is, sometimes you see a lion and you begin to say, this lion is looking. You see it in a photo, you are like, you can put it on your wallpaper and things like that because it's symmetric. Just imagine that. Let me not go to the aspect of, because we are not doing this thing here. The anatomy. We're not doing anatomy here, right? So, but that's what I'm trying to say. And I believe everybody understand me. Do you guys understand? If there's anybody that does not understand, you can put it in the comment section. But that's what I'm trying to say. So, if you want to make your design balanced, right, you have to observe these two things. Number one, make sure, I've talked about this before, make sure that it is equally distributed. That's just it. Make sure your logo is equally distributed. Equally distributed. Equally. So that's why we're using grid. That's the more reason we're using grid. Right? That's the more reason we're using grid. So for instance, if we have something here, I don't know if you still remember your shape builder tool. You still remember your shape builder tool, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is I'm going to use my shape builder tool and I'm going to create something. Right? No, let me see. Let me change it to black. So let me see. No. right? So you can see something like this. Like what I said, there are advanced ways of trying to balance things. You will never know. I can do something like this and I can balance it with the text of my logo. I will balance it and it still look balanced for you, but I'm not treating those kind of things yet. So as you go, you will know. But for a beginner, what should be the right thing you should do? Look at the center, right? You might look at this thing as though it's kind of basic, but it's a mistake a lot of persons make, right? Look at your center. So you have to just equally distribute things. Equally. You have to make sure everything is equally distributed. So you don't have this side becoming more packed than the other side. So, and that's the order we are talking about. That's the order. So to be on the safe side, I know what to do. I will still do and manipulate things, and I can use my mark like this and it will still work, right? But as a beginner, this is what you should start with. Make sure your logo is symmetric, right? Make sure it's symmetric. That's what I'm trying to say with all my stories and everything. So make sure your logo is symmetric. So this is the square grid we're using, right? Make sure it's symmetric. It means if you are putting something here, put it at this side also. Are you guys following? Just mirror it. It's a very simple technique. Mirror it.
Yes, sir.
Mirror it. It's very, very simple. Make sure everything you are doing, you are trying to mirror it. That's the basic thing the beginner should be doing. You will not get it wrong, right? You will not get it. I know there's some advanced way I can work with things. I'm not going to be mirroring it. It is still going to work, right? But as a beginner, you will never be wrong if you mirror something. Just mirror it. Just mirror it, right? So,
Left or right? Sir, can hear you.
Sir, we can't hear you.
So, I was trying to mute. I want to mute my other account, so that's why I was silent. So please try to mute yourself if you are not speaking, because somebody's sound will just enter into what we're doing, right? So this is why we use grids. This is why we use grids, right? So you will never be wrong. Trust me. Worldwide, what is it? You will never be wrong if you mirror your logo. Never. You will never be wrong. Never. Never. It will always be balanced. So that's a trick you can always use. Another thing you can do, or let me just talk about this first. So what a grid allows you to do is just to achieve that order. So for instance, and sometimes you can get, maybe you are working on a design that has to do with, maybe you want to use a letter, right? You want to use an initial for the company, maybe a K or something. You can use your grid to form that K. You can use your grid, right? You can use your grid. So on your paper, you can sketch and use your grid, right? You can use your grid to do that. You can use your grid. You can use your grid to do that. So it depends on what you want to do. Depends on what you want to do. You can use your grid to form letters. That can help you to just generate ideas. You can use your square grid. Then another grid we have that we can change this one to is your diagonal grid, right? Diagonal grid. So what you can do there is right? You could have something like this. Let me just group this one. You could have something like this. Diagonal is just slanted form of grid. So let's try to use our rotates. Let's try to use our rotates. Let me say 45. Right, 45. So you could do this, and you could also do this. I also have grouped this thing. I think I have grouped it. I think I have. So let me just take it somewhere else. Let me take it somewhere else. Let's see. 45 degrees. Let's do another one. Let's try 90. No, 90 will be too straight. Minus 45. Let's try this.
Sir, what about?
Yep.
I want to ask you a question, sir.
Okay.
What about those logos that are not lined, that like maybe they have too much of curves? How do we achieve that, sir?
I'm going to teach you that.
Like
I'll teach you that.
It, like you want to trace it from like the way we've done it on a sketch pad. How do we trace like that?
I will teach you that. All
right, sir.
There are different forms of logos. Like I said during the last class, there are different forms. So what I'm teaching you now is basically max, right? I'm teaching you basically max. There are free-form logos, but you barely see free-form logos, right? And that's what I've been saying since.
Yes, sir.
If you use normal shapes, your logo will be as aesthetically pleasing. That's like a hack you can use, right? And that's what I've been teaching you. If you look at Google's logo, or is it Apple logo? Apple logo, you can see circles there, right? If you are drawing it on a grid or something, you'll see circles. You'll see basically you see circles. You see straight lines too, right? So all that is just using grids and all that is just to make your logo aesthetically pleasing, make it balanced, just being on the safe side, right? Even if you are to sketch a free form, it is still okay for you to have dimensions, like have a good measurement for it. If not, you're not going to get it. Except for some brand. Some brand it's intentionally done. Like it's intentionally done. Maybe it's a children brand. You just want a free form logo that just draw with your hand, right? Except it's intentional. What otherwise, it's not something you want to do. Right? It's not something you want to do. It's not something you want to do. So I think somebody did a diagonal logo, something like that. Somebody did that, maybe on their sketch or something like that. So it's just the opposite. You can even just turn this and you will get it, right? But this one is diagonal, right? So the same thing. So far you have the part you are using, you can just begin to trace, right? The same thing. This could be somebody's mark, right? So it just helps you to achieve symmetry, You cannot be wrong like this. You can't be wrong, right? You can't be wrong. You can't be wrong. You can't be wrong. So it's left for you. It's left for you. It's left for you. So you could use that to create what you want to create, but make sure it's on a grid. Make sure that it is on a grid. Are you guys following me? Make sure it's on a grid. Make sure it's on a grid. So no matter where this is going to appear, no matter where it is going to appear to be aesthetically pleasing, that's just the advantage. That's the advantage of this. That's the advantage.
Quick question, boss.
Yeah, can you hear?
All right, so now, after creating this one with the shape builder, what if you want to add a radius to it? Like you don't want the sharp edge.
You can add. You can add. I'll quickly do something for you.
Okay.
You can add. So sometimes you can draw something on maybe a paper, right? You can draw something on the paper. Or maybe you might want to do, what do we call it? You might want to draw a bird. Let me say it's an insurance company, maybe it has to do with fly insurance or something. So let me say you want to do a bird, right? Do you know you can use a grid to draw a bird? You can use a grid. So your bird is not, will not be fully blown. When I mean fully blown, you will not see like a bird with a complex wing, right? But you are going to see a shape that forms a bird, that if anybody sees it, the person will know that this is a bird, right? And when we were talking about logos that are very, very simple, that logos should be simple, right? I think we talked about logos being simple, right? So that is one way you can achieve simplicity. It's just making the caricature of things just with your grid, right? You could say you want to, maybe the company has to do with a key or key global or something. You can use your grid intentionally to draw a key without trying to be artistic, adding shadows and everything, making your logo complex and things like that. Just to make your logo simple, you can do that. You can do that. You can draw it on a grid. Are you getting? You can draw it on a grid. You can draw it on a grid.
So I have a question.
Okay.
With these grid lines drawn now, is it possible to want to maybe add another one in between?
You can.
Like maybe, okay.
You can. So far, you have the middle or the center drawn out. You can, but don't lose the center. I think we should do something more of a practical right now. So we're going to come back again while we go for this break. Using your diagonal grids, right? I want us to just draw different things with your grid. Each person draw something different with your grid. Draw something different with your grid. Any natural thing you can draw. These are the major things that motivate people to come and buy from you. Number one, the need. If I need something, I'll go and buy it. But if I need something, there are a lot of people that are selling that thing, right? So how do I pick a particular vendor? Is a need is at a lower level. Because if they have the need, they can go to somebody else, right? So if somebody has the need of buying something, so the next thing is that which one will be cheaper? So just consider that your own is not cheap, right? Will the person come to you? No. Then there's another layer of it, quality. So if the person says, okay, this person is not cheaper, but this person has quality, will the person come for you? What if we have like 5 persons, they have the same quality with you? Who will the person pick now? Convenience. The person will say, I don't want to stress myself. So the person will pick somebody that is convenient for him or her. There is one that is very dangerous. We call it what? Relationship. How many of you have bought something because it's your friend? Like you don't care. It's my friend. You don't care. Content creation can help you create that relationship. It will beat everything there. So there's a course currently selling content creation for business. Sometimes I tag it as how to sell with content creation. In this course, I talked about a strategy that anybody can use to sell online. So I'm going to be giving out for $5. If you're a small business owner, you could actually just apply the strategies in this course and use content to sell, right? So if you want to gain access to this course, just DM me on WhatsApp, DM me on Instagram. My contact details are below. I've been saying that we discussed that a logo should be simple. And one way you can achieve simplicity is by using your grid, is by working closely with a grid, right? And somebody was asking, can we just draw a free form? So how do we achieve something free form, right? So if you really want to achieve simplicity in logos, right, you have to stick to using free forms. Grids, right? So anything you are drawing that cannot be in a grid, you should not think about it, right? If you want to make modern logos, anything that cannot be on a grid, that you can't use a grid to do, don't go for it, right? But I said there are some special cases where maybe the brand, that's to do with a children brand, or the concept requires you to just do a free form sketch, right? Unless so, don't go for a free form. And I've discussed, that's what I'm talking about, all that complexity, because now, I think I'm just even seeing a logo. Let me use this one to explain more. I'm seeing a logo. Let me use it to explain more. This is Harvard's logo, right? Harvard University, this is their logo, right? Oh, I've seen another one. This is Burger King's logo, right? These two logos are both old logos, right? So that when I'm telling you something, don't think I'm just saying it, right? Don't think I am just saying it.
Hello.
What?
I've sent a sketch.
Okay, I'll check it out. So this is Burger King. This is Harvard's logo. So these are both old logos of Burger King and Harvard. I think Harvard does not use this one. Even if they use it, not that much. There's a recent logo they use, right? They always use. Now, can you see your screen? So
It's still loading.
So this is, although this is the press of Harvard University, but you can see that they have other versions, right? You can see. Can you see their logo? Can you see the new
Yes,
logo?
sir.
Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
So people are living a dimension. You want to go back to that dimension that people are living. People are now creating modern logos. So you don't go back to what people have left, right? And looking at these two logos, which one can work on a grid? Looking at the two logos. Which one?
The new one.
The most recent. So that's
Yes.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Then for Burger King is still more. So look at Burger King's new logo. So it's still more of free form, but this one is just more of like a typography. The typography there's little you can do, right? Because it has to be there. So, but looking at it, right? It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Looking at the old one and the new one, you can see it. At the new one, you can work with a grid. Even if this is a free form, we can work with a grid. This is just made of circles and, right? That's just it. That's just it. This old one, I see something like a shadow here. A shadow or a reflection. So you're not finding it in the new one. You will not find it in the new one, right? Because everybody's moving towards this direction, and it's for a reason, because logos have to be simple. It's very necessary that logos are simple, especially when it comes to some certain niches. It has to be simple. It has to, right? It has to. So if you are not working with a grid, in some special case, but for beginners, I advise you work with a grid. In some special case, you might not want to work with a grid. Like if you want it to be very free, like there's this logo. Let me see if I will see it here. This is a logo, right? I think I've showed you guys this one before. It's one of the most recent projects. So this is a logo. You can see that it is more of a free form, right? So what I said is that depending on the concept, right? The concept of this logo is, if you look at the dove, it's just as though the dove is making a pot, like a clay pot, right? You can see that if you look at the motion, it just makes you think or makes you feel as though it was a dove that put the whole thing together, right? You can see just putting the last line together. That was when the whole logo was formed. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So
yes, sir.
You can see that this logo is not a free form. It's more of a free form. So you can't really use a grid for this, and it's because of the concept. It's a vessel. It's because of the concept, right? So it depends on your own concept. But that does not mean that this logo is not balanced. If I share this logo into two, you'll still see that somewhat it's balanced, right? To some extent, it's balanced. Even if it's not 100%, it's still balanced. Like you can barely find something that's 100% balanced, but at least you cross 70, 80% balance, right? So that's just it.
Sir, in one word now, so we cannot use grid for these kinds of logos.
Depends on your concept.
Okay,
depends on your concept. Yeah. It depends on your concept, right? You can see that this logo is not made to be straight. If you look at look at the distance between here, it's not meant to be straight because of the concept of the logo. It's just like a local clay pot that you are making, right? So it's the concept. Sir. It's a concept. But for you, I'll advise you. You cannot go around it and make it. But even with the spaces that are not, you can see that the logo is still symmetric. It's still symmetric, right? So that's just it. It's because somewhat because of experience. That's why I'm able to put these things together like this. So for you that is just starting out, your concept, you know what you can do, right? So you don't go beyond what you can do. You know that, okay, let me work with grid. Like what I said, it's very safe for you to work with grid. It's very, very safe. It's very, very safe. If you know that you are not geared good like that, work with grids. I can do something without a grid even. It will still be balanced, right? It will still be balanced, and everything. Without a grid, I will make something, it will still be balanced. But as a beginner, it's not good. And even at that, I still have to use a grid, even if I can do it, right? Because sometimes your eyes might be telling you something, you've seen another thing, right? So that's just it. So let me check out do you have any questions? Does anybody have any question? I want to just establish something, then we'll go. Establish something, then we will go. Okay. So that's it. I like showing you guys practical examples. So, I'm not just saying what I'm saying, right? I'm not just saying what I'm saying. So, okay, let me see what you saying.
Yes.
So I've seen two. It's okay. This two, we'll work with this two, right? Did any of you encounter any error while trying to import an image? That's for only those that have tried it out, right? That tried executing something. Only those that have tried executing something. So let me check up the other one. What is this? The person will tell us what is this or what this is. So what is this, please? Who drew this? What is this and what is this? What is this, first of all? And what is this also? Because I can't seem to get it. And if I can't seem to get it, it means maybe I just told you to do something though, but something that cannot be gotten at first glance. It's a hook. Okay, I think I could guess that this is a hook. I could guess that this is a hook. But this other one, can you tell me what it is? Okay, maybe the person is not here. I thought the guy was here. But this is what I'm trying to establish. You are there. What is this?
It's like a Google.
A Google. Is it upside down? It's supposed to be like this.
I think so.
You think so or you know so? So it's supposed to be like this. Right?
Yeah, something like that.
Or to be like this. So if you are drawing something, right? If you are drawing something, you draw it on a grid, right? If you want to use a bird, you can use a circular. You can add. Okay, we are going to add that now. So we are going to add that now. So let's try to do this. So if you want
No, Tony goes and got on. No, Kashi diagonally.
What you try to do was to use 1 centimeter. Ivy? Sincerely, I will.
Oh, I'm supposed to call you.
Please off your mic.
So, let's try to achieve this, right? So, this is, what's your name? Who drew this grid? What's your name, please?
JN Joshua.
Joshua. Okay. So Joshua drew this grid. So instead of drawing a very complex glasses or goggle, Joshua drew this, right? And that's what we've been saying, right? So no matter how complex you want your idea to be, try to, it's very smart, right? It's very smart. It will be very smart of you to try to draw it within a grid. And it mustn't be a square grid. It can be a circular grid. Are you getting? It can be you can mix things together, right? And that's what we're going to try to do. So let's try tracing this with our grid, right? Let's say we've drawn this and we want to trace it, right? So the first thing you want to do, right? You go to your property panel, just like Photoshop or any other software. There's what we call your layer panel. Yours might not be scattered like this. Right, it's not going to be scattered like this, right? It's going to be arranged. So, but we have the layer panel here, and this layer panel, you can use it. You can click on any object here you have on your design, and you can edit your property. Apart from doing it from here, right? But you can do it from layer panel. If you've worked with Photoshop before, you should know about layers. It should not be new to you. So you have it here too. Right? So anything you have grouped, just know that they will be together. Anything you have grouped, they are going to be together. So you can see that all these are in one group, right? Or I should say they are in the artboard. Okay, so if I click on this, I'm going to set the opacity or whatever. You can do it from here, you can do it from here, right? So this just simply contains everything you have on your artboard, right? It contains everything. So you can make it visible by clicking on this eye icon, right? Make it visible and invisible, right? So we could trace things, make them visible. You can see that all the 70% where all this text, they are there also. If you zoom out, to take this off, let me see. So I think it's here. So I'm just doing this for the persons that have not used Illustrator before or even Photoshop. So you can see that it's affecting this 50% because that is it, right? So sometimes you can decide to adjust this any element or any text shape from here. You might just decide to do it that way, right? So having this here, what we want to do is that we want to reduce your opacity, right? That's what you should do first. So you see why it's very difficult to do something when it's not well aligned on your notes. Can you see the difficulties we're having? Can you guys see the difficulties that we are going to be having? Can you guys see? That's why I said use your grid should be very accurate on paper, very, very accurate, so that when you bring it here, you can see that it's not well aligned. Can you guys see it?
Yes,
can you guys
sir.
see it? So you can see that it's not well aligned. So now it's very difficult to do right now. So if there was time, I would have said go and redo it. Measure your grid well, redo it. So, but let's try to do it. Let's try. I know it's going to take our time, but let's try to achieve this. If it were very straight, I'll just put it on top of the grid and I'll start tracing, right? I'll start tracing. So, but let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. So we have to look at it, but let me go see. Don't know for time, but let me just see. So let's start to do something. So let's say okay. So I'll just use the circle for those persons that have been wanting to see the circle. So I'll just use a circle. I think the last time we used the circle. We used the circle the last time. So let's get this edge. Right? Let's get this edge. So let's say this is this edge. We have this edge done. Then I think we can duplicate this. And we can put it here. This square here. Okay, to do this, and what is left, we have a bigger circle here. Let's use the same circle. Because there's no grid, the grid is not accurate. Did anybody do another sketch? Did anybody do another sketch?
Yes, I did.
Send it to me first. Send it to me first. Are you guys getting or something? Hope you guys are not confused about what we're doing. Are you confused?
No. Finish it, boss. Then we can know if we are lost or still in.
Okay, then you know if you are lost. Okay, so what we're trying to do is just simply tracing, right? So I wish this was very accurate. That's why I always say use your grid on your paper. I wish this was accurate. We would have not been wasting our time. I wish it was accurate. I wish. This leaf is going to be worse. I saw your leaf that you sent. If we use this leaf,
excuse me.
It's going to be worse.
How did you make this picture lighter, like transparent?
I just reduce the opacity.
Okay, thanks.
Yes. Okay. Let me take this off because it's not even straight. I'll just try as much as possible to get it. Try as much as possible to get it. Okay, let's just go. Let's go. So remember what we do. We have to group it. I'm just trying to separate. I didn't do anything. I'm just trying to separate both of them. I think I mistakenly grouped them together. So I'm using circle because I want you guys to see what the circle can do, right? So let us see. So what I begin to do is that I begin to trace or build the shape from what I've done, right? I begin to build the shape, right? This one is more of like a bone. It's two. Sometimes. Sorry for that. Okay. This line is too big, too big. So let's just try going with a square. Let's try going with a square. If the grid was accurate, we would have gotten it. The grid was very accurate. But let's try going with lines. Let's try going with lines. And I guess this is what we have. I guess we had this. Yes, we'll have this. Have this again. But hope you guys are following me. I hope you are following.
Yes, sir.
So sometimes this can help you to be accurate. Your the pink margin you're seeing on your screen, you're trying to get a shape. That pink margin can help you. Can help you know if you're getting it or not. So if there was there's supposed to be a line in between these two things, right? For us to really know where the middle is, there ought to be a line. You can see that. Remember what I said. If this is not closed, it is not closed, you are not going to get your so let us try. Yeah, accurate. Let us try. We want to have another line inside. You can see that this thing is extending because somewhere is not closed. This part is not closed. So it has to be closed. Wait. I think we can just get our lens from here. If we get it. So just a minute. I'm sorry. I have to go quickly do something. But do you guys get what we're doing? So it's okay. I think is shorter. The middle here is shorter. The middle is shorter. And are you guys following?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Or some persons are lost. Don't be lost. It's but I think it's quite easy to understand, right? It's quite easy to understand. All what I'm trying to say is that for now, work with grids, right? It's not even for now. I still work with grids. Because if you get it right on paper, you're going to get it right here. So I think it's easy, somewhat like this, right? Our Zoom is about to go off again. I've wasted so much time. Let me try to achieve what he has there. I think it's something like this. So it means the grid is supposed to be smaller, right? But let's just work with this. Let's work with this. So something like this. If you get no, it's almost longer. It's longer. Something like this. So our Zoom is about to go off. I guess we'll have to come again because I have to finish this thing. Or should we just close? Let's just close. Let's just close. I hope you guys are following.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me finish up. If you don't know how to use this, then it means you've not watched the other video. If you don't know how to use your, what they call it, shape builder tool, then it means, right? So this is what we have. Did we get close to it? It's advisable, right? It's advisable that your gaps are the same. So it's looking very awkward because this gap is not the same with this. Looking kind of awkward, especially for the height, for the fact that the height is not the same. So let's just make the height the same, even if right? So that's why you have to be mindful of it when you are drawing, right? Mindful of it. Okay, so we try to mimic what he has. Try to mimic what he has. Try as much as we can. So we could turn this into circles, right? We could make circles here and make it circles. We could do that. Because this was actually a circle. So we could do all that, right? We could do all that. But let's work with this for now. Let's work with this. So let me say we have this, right? We have this mark, whatever we want to call it, right? But it was forged from a grid. So being that what he did might not be, let me say, perfect, right? Because before you draw on a grid, you must make it look like, right? You must make it look like the way it's going to be originally. You must make it look like the way it's going to look originally, right? So radio recognized. So like this, and the way it was before. Which one would be easier to decode? Which would be easier to decode that this is kind of a goggle? Which one would be easier to decode? This or this? Which would be easier to decode?
This one.
Which one? This one will be easier to decode that this is a glass.
This one. Yes.
Are you kidding me? Than this one? Someone else should speak now. You guys should speak.
To be honest,
Yes.
to me, any of it is not looking like a glass to me.
Yes.
But then it's okay, sir. Let's say this one.
Okay. Who else is speaking?
It's looking more or less like those
swimming
like
glass.
swimming
Right.
glasses.
It looks like all those swimming drugs. It looks like a binocular.
Yes. So the person that says that is none of them is looking like a glasses. So that's more of like the idea, right? Because if you are using a grid, it will be difficult to look exactly the way a glass would look, right? But you should be able to decode. That's the thing. At first glance, the person should be able to decode that this is a glass. Are you guys getting me? When you should be able to decode that this is a glass, that's when you know that your logo has worked or your mark has worked. Right? Are you getting me? So, which is easier to know that you are not speaking? So, let's know, is it this one or this one? Which one is better? Which one?
Sir, can we see the original one? I'm not really seeing it.
Okay, let me just turn it to 2 so that we can see it. Let me turn it to 2. So, this is this. I don't want to totally destroy the grid. I don't want to destroy it. So this is this. I think it's something like this. So in both this thing we have, both sketches we have, which one will be easier to decode? Which one will be easier to decode? Look at them properly. Which one will be easier to decode? Or you guys should vote on the chat or anything. Just let me know which one will be easier to decode. You guys don't know. Okay, let's move on. I'm trying to get something so that you know that whenever you are sketching something, you go for the one that it should be easy to decode. It should be easy to decode. So, is it A or B? It should be easy to decode. That's the whole thing. It should be easy to decode. Do not confuse people. So is it A or B? A or B? A or B? A or B? So that will go. A or B? A or B? So that's it. That's it. So while you are sketching and you are doing all this, you should go for what is easy to decode, right? What is easy to decode? So you can say, okay, we have this here. We have this here, right? So the next thing we want to do is to take it out, right? Take it out. Take it out. We have something like this, right? We have something like this.
Sorry, boss. How did you take it out, please? What did you press? So
someone is raising an alarm. Do press. So just select it. You can either use the shape builder tool to remove all this one, but that's going to take our time, right? Well, have you seen the other video? If you've seen the other video, you should not be asking me this. So, but you can just select it. Like hold your hold your shift select all the shape you have there. There's still one shape there. Select all the shape, hold your shift, select all the shape, then take it out. That's it. So shift allows you to select multiple objects at once. So that is what you want to do. You want to do, right? So you can mute yourself back.
Sir, your mic is mute. I can't hear you.
I can't hear anything too. There's no audio here.
So sorry for that. It's the persons that are not muting themselves. So if I want to mute myself, I'm using my account, I'll mute my other account. So I will never know that it's muted. So you have to try to mute yourself, right? So what I'm talking about is, if you look at the shape is separate. It's kind of separate. They are separate from each other. So what you want to do is that you want to select all of them. If you come to your property panel, right, you're going to see Pathfinder. So what you want to do is that click the first one. It's going to merge it. If you've used Photoshop before, you must have used this before. But it just merges it. Turns all of them to one shape. So if I change the color, I'm still going to get the same shape, right? You take out the stroke or take out the line, right? I'm going to get this one shape. Change to black, get the one shape, right? So since they are now one, there are some things we can do, right? We can make the edges rounded, like somebody was asking, right? So when you select it, you want to make the edges rounded, a bit rounded. If you select it, you can come here, direct selection tool. That is the second one we have here, the second tool you have here. If you click on it, it's going to show you all these edges. You see all these round dots at the edges, right, at each point. So what you want to do is that you can click and drag. So it will make it circular, right? It will make it circular. So you can do this. It makes it circular. So, but sometimes there's an extent to which you can go, right? There's an extent to, and all this part is because of the nature of the edges you have here, right? You can see that this one turned to a complete circle, but this one is refusing to turn to a complete circle. So it depends. So you can either do it individually, or you do it. If you want to affect everything, you just click and drag, right? But if you want to affect just that part or that edge, you click on it the second time, right? So it's going to be selected. It's going to be working on only that one. But remember, we'll talk about balance. You have to equally distribute everything if you want to be on the safe path, right? If you want to be on the safe path. So we could do this. Then let me show you something. Let me show you something. Let me show you something again. Let me show you something. So there is what we call, if you've used Photoshop, you must have seen it too. There's what we call same pathfinder. There's what we call subtracting. Subtracting. So I'm going to just draw a circle, give it a color, white. So let me just say that maybe these circles are too small, right? Let me say they are too small. So I could put them right here. So what I want to do is that I want to subtract this shape from this, right? So let me just do it quickly. Let me do it quickly. I will explain for you. When it happens, you will see it. Can you see what happened? This is what I want to do. I want to subtract this shape from the goggle, right? Or the mask or whatever, right? So as simple as that, you can do it. So what you just do is that draw the shape. You can use any shape. You can subtract any shape from any shape. If you used Photoshop before, you must have seen it, right? This is very helpful when you are doing logos. Sometimes you want to remove a shape from a shape, right? You can see that we have left our grid because we've done the major part with our grid, right? And I know I'm at the center because it's going to click when it gets there. Taking this is going to click when it gets to the center. So I already know I'm at the center, right? So I can take it here to the center. So I can select these two shapes, select this one, then go to my subtract. The first one is merge, second one is subtract. It's going to take it out, right? I'm saying that it's not even equal. It's not equal. So let's try again. So are you guys following?
Yes.
Yes, we are following.
So this is subtract. This is subtract. So you can make it bigger. So it means we've achieved the goggle, whatever you want to call it. We've achieved it, right? So that's it. So any question? Any question? Be asking your question.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. Thank you so much for all of these wonderful classes. This is amazing. So, like, my question is, because one of the assignment I submitted, right? It is using, I think, it has like if you use one diagonal grid for that time to draw like an arrow. I don't know if you see on your screen all of those small arrow like this, like spacing
this
up.
one.
Yes, exactly. So there's one of my of the sketch I did that we require something like this, but the other aspect of that logo is not something like this. It's not like something like leaf. So how do we go about something like that?
If it's a leaf.
Hello, sir. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I don't get you. Sorry, I don't get you.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that one of the logo I sketched, like the upper part of the logo is like that arrow, like something like those arrow, like it's going up. Then the lower part of the logo is like leaf. So leaf stemming out of a tree, stand. So I want to know, how do we achieve something like that? Because since the arrows can be achieved with that diagonal grid, but then the leaf cannot be achieved with that. So I don't know how we can do that.
You can achieve a leaf with that. You can. Why not? You can. You can add circles, achieve a leaf with what we've done. Right? The basic shape of a leaf is here already. You can. You can, or you don't believe so? Did you try it out? Are you there? Did you try it out?
Yes, I did not try it actually. I did not try
Then
it.
you have
But
to
I'll
try
just
it
confirm. I
now.
don't know if it's possible. Okay.
It's going to be possible.
Okay.
If it needs you to add a circle, then you have to add a circle. You might have to add a circle, right? You might have to add a circle to it.
Okay, like we have to add a circular grid to it. Is that what you're saying?
No, just the way I added a circle. I was trying to add a circle to this, right? Or you could go with a square, then later you can make it rounded. Depends on what you want to do, right? Depends on what you want to do. Depends on what you want to do. So, any other question?
So mine is on getting a concept, like getting a sketch for the logo, or for a logo, like to come up with ideas. I'm not very good at drawing, so it was a challenge for me doing this assignment even.
Okay. So what you can do, if you are not very good with design, like bringing concepts, right? What you can do is that you can, first of all, you can start by copying, right? You can start by copying other people's work. Are you getting me? Start by copying other people's work. Copy and copy and copy and copy and copy. Just redo other projects. Redo other projects, right? Redo other projects. Redo other person's project. Look at other person's marks. You can redo it. It's going to be giving you. You are going to be gathering their concepts, right? And that's what I'm going to teach. I'm going to teach you on that separately. But you are just going to be gathering their concepts and everything. And at the end of it, or at the end of the day, when you want to generate a concept, those concepts that you've digested, other person's work that you've been doing, they are going to come out bit by bit. And you are going to just be joining one concept. Maybe you've done like 50 logos, right? You're going to join one plus another one plus another one. You can even join 3 together. Just 3, they are just going to spoil in your mind, right? And you are going to be able to arrange a concept by yourself. But first of all, you must copy. If you are not good in generating concepts, you must copy and copy and copy and copy and copy and copy. Yeah, so that's it. Any other question?
Okay.
Yes, I would like to ask.
Yeah.
You have been using more of symbol mark for us as an example. I'd like to ask, when it comes to word mark logos, is this process that you have done for us, is this similar to how you also create a word mark logo? Because, for example, the NASA logo that you showed us here, it's a word mark logo, but the font does not really look like a font that you normally see. So it's as if they designed it on their own. Okay. So I want to know if the same way we just designed this logo, is it the same process? Is it similar to designing a word mark logo?
Okay. So it can be the same process, right? It could be the same process. You can use grids to create your word mark. Like I will show you now. You can use grids to create your word mark. You can use grids. So can you see the logo on my screen? This is a word mark. I use grids to make this logo. I did it for one tech brand like that. So the title, if it's readable, can you read it? Can anybody try to read what is here? Can you try to read it?
Tech Regan.
Okay, yeah, Tech Regan. That's it. So this is a word mark. It's not a font. It was customly made with grid. You can see the grid there. It's right there. So depends. You can use a grid, or I'm going to be showing you those things too. You can tweak a font, like an already existing font. You can tweak it, right? You can tweak it until it becomes custom, right? You make it custom. You make it suit what you want, right? What we did on what do you call it? What we did on that shape, on that glass, when we made it rounded, it was not even rounded at all. So what we did on it, we just make it rounded and everything. We can still do it to a text. We can do it to a text, right? We can do it to a text. We can do it to a text. Sometimes you could pull out something from the text. You could, okay. So the first thing you want to do, I hope I have time. The first thing you want to do in that case, but I was going to teach it. I will teach it on a separate day. Don't worry. I'm going to teach it on a separate day. I'll teach you. I'll focus on wordmark on a separate day. I'm going to teach you.
Please do that, because that was my question.
Okay, I'm going to do it on a separate day. On a separate day.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Any other question? Any other question? What?
As we're talking about text now, is a thing of copywriting.
Okay, when you talk about there are some. If you are working for a brand, right? When you have to do copyright, there are some types that have copyright. They tell you that it's for personal use, right? When you want to go and download. Hope you guys know where to download text from. As graphics designer, you should know, right? Where you download fonts from, right? And you should know. If you don't know, dafont.com, GAFONT.com, that's like one of the major ones that you can use. So there are some fonts there, they will tell you that it's personal use. There are some they will tell you that you can use it for commercial purpose, right? So if you are making for a brand, the problem is that you don't know where brands will go, right? You don't know where these brands will end up, right? You don't know where they are going to end up. So when you use something that is copyrighted, right? When the brand ends up getting big, maybe being a global brand, they are going to sue them. They might come for them and sue them. So what you can just do is tweak the text. Once you tweak the text, the form of the text, it's no longer that font. And I'll teach you in that class. I'll teach you how to tweak text or tweak fonts. It becomes a word mark on its own when you tweak it. There are a lot of popular companies that use Helvetica, right? And Helvetica is a free font. There are a lot of companies that use Helvetica like that. Big companies, but they are not going to sue them because Helvetica is free. So before I forget, let me use this mean to give you assignments. Kiki, are you there? Kiki, are you there? Kiki, are you there?
I'm here, sir.
Okay, this is what we're going to do. We will group everybody, right? We're going to group everybody into 5.
We are 21 here.
We are 21. So we'll group everybody into 5. Joe, I'm coming. I'll answer your question. So we'll group everybody into 5, right? 5. Anybody that is not here?
We are 20 now. We are 20.
Okay, we are 20. So no, are you sure?
20.
Or 19?
Yeah, okay.
21
is
plus
19.
me. You're 19.
Participant is
19.
21, so 21 plus him, so it's 20.
He has 2 devices connected.
I have 2 devices connected. So
okay.
So we are going to group it.
19.
We are going to group it 5. Then each group is going to. You can screenshot it or what we have here. Screenshot it. You'll be posting it. Then group everybody. Each group will have 5 persons, right?
Done that already.
5 persons. Okay. So each group will have 5 persons. Then for those 5 persons, If you are a phone designer, don't worry, they will group you in a group that you have an illustrator there. This is our first phase. It's not your final project. It's just your first phase. Or let me say, I'm trying to do a test run, right? Let me do a test run of what you've learned, right? So five persons in each group. You have to sketch, right? You have to sketch. And when you are done sketching, you have to execute using Adobe Illustrator, right? Execute using Adobe Illustrator.
So we sketch and we execute.
Yes, sketch and execute. So send me a PDF presentation of your logo, right? Your logo must not have a concept. If you have a concept, fine, because I've not taught you how to give your logo concepts. So if it has a concept, fine. If it does not, fine. So, but you are going to, okay, let me give you a word mark as an assignment. You do a word mark, but it has to be on grid. It has to be with grids. It has to be with grids. The name of the brand will be okay, see the name of the brand. So I want you to do a word mark. It has to be on a grid. Yeah, this is the name of the brand. Word mark. So anyhow you want to do it like this. You have to give it colors, right? I thought you have to give shapes colors or give shape colors, right? You have to use a word mark. So do it like this. If you can add mockups, if you use where you can use Photoshop, they might be in your group. So if you can add mockup, do a mockup, but it has to be a word mark. It has to be a word mark, anchor, not a symbol, right? So do you guys get me? Do you guys get me?
Yes, sir.
So those
only the word anchor as typography.
Only the word anchor. Only the word anchor.
As typography.
Yes, only the word anchor. If you're on YouTube too, if you are rewatching this video, this is the assignment. You can do it too. So that's it for today's class. So next time I'll teach you on. I'll go into golden ratios. We'll go into golden ratios. How to use golden ratio. That's more circles than square grids, right? I'm going to teach you how to work with it, right, in our next class. So see you in our next class.